What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Schixo podcast here on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, and Spotify. Of course, as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Schixomania, on Instagram at SchizoForever, and of course, don't forget hashtag #NoFilterPodcast. Today is a great day. Today is a day of completion. It's a day of things coming full circle. You guys don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Of course not. I have to tell you the story. Today is the last day of something that I've been grinding for a very long time. Um, it's been about a month and a half, actually. Um, on what day was it? Let me look at this calendar that I have kept. It was July 8th. On July the 8th, I began I began a challenge that would test my ability to remain consistent, test my ability to push through my frustrations, test my ability to persevere. Um, Before I tell you guys, let me give you a little bit of backstory. Some of you guys already know what it is because you've listened to my How to Start a Podcast episode. But for those of you who don't, I'll give you a little bit of backstory. So I follow this YouTube channel called Alux, Alux, and their motto is, "This is the channel where future billionaires come to get inspired." And I can attest to that because I got inspired by watching one of their videos. Well, a few of their videos, but this one in particular. It was the 15 Rules of Self-Discipline. 15 Rules of Self-Discipline. So Alux also does this thing in their 15 lists that if you stick around for the entire duration of the video, they give you one bonus one. So really it's 16. It's 16 items in each of their 15 lists that they put out. So number 16 on this particular list was grind for 50 days straight. Grind for 50 days in a row. Not 50 days total, 50 days in a row, nonstop. Due to me hearing that, I was like, oh man, okay, how can I do that? How can I grind for 50 days straight like that? That doesn't sound easy. And of course it doesn't sound easy because some people can't even upload 2 days in a row. Some people don't have the dedication and the drive and the perseverance to keep uploading through all the crap, all the BS that they have to deal with. You know, it's not always easy. But I decided I was going to take that challenge on. I talked to my wife. I was like, hey, babe, you know what? I'm going to upload for 50 days in a row. And I'm going to call it the 50-day challenge. And I uploaded on YouTube, including today, for 50 days straight. 50 days. And I had about every topic you can think of. I started by making a video on every single one of those 15 steps of self-discipline, including define your goal, deconstruct your goal, removing distractions, prioritizing your goal, not waiting for your goal to feel right, forcing yourself to do it, finding role models, scheduling breaks, failure is not an option, keep track of your progress, remove negative habits. It went on and on. I did videos about my 5 most embarrassing moments, my jersey collection, how I find my inner peace. I did one video where I just went off because I was having a bad day. I did a video on working on my positive mindset, being thankful. I did videos when my son was born from the hospital, and it was a grind. There was a lot of things that I had to deal with, a lot of barriers that were in my way that I pushed through, and I'm really proud of myself when I look back on it because I'm like I not only pushed through terrible Wi-Fi over here in this part of Italy. The Wi-Fi is very slow. Sometimes my video wouldn't upload until like 1 o'clock in the morning, but because I started the upload, the day before, I still considered it part of the 50-day challenge, of course. I had to deal with that. I had to deal with when my son was born. We stayed at the hospital Like, we were sleeping in the hospital room, and what I did is I brought my laptop with me, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use my hotspot on my phone, and I'm going to upload anyway. I'm just going to make videos. I'm going to edit them on this computer, and I'm going to upload them from the hospital. And that's what I did. I didn't let anything get in my way, even when I felt discouraged, when I was like, man, it's 7 o'clock p.m. and I still haven't made a video yet because I can't think of anything to make a video on. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go outside, and I'm going to talk for a while. And I'm just going to throw it up there. And I think a hard part that I had to get through was, even if I didn't like it, still putting it up, because it was all that I had to put up. And I would put the video up, and I'd be like, man, this video sucked. This isn't going to get any views. And it wouldn't get any views, really. And I'd be like, you know what? It's okay. This is for me. This isn't for views. This is for my own personal encouragement. This is like a milestone that I'm making for myself, a goal that I'm setting for myself. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna keep persevering, and I'm gonna post. And it was hard. It was really hard. I got really frustrated. I got to the brink. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. It was around probably about day 38, 39. I got super frustrated. Maybe a little bit before that, probably around day 35 or 36 or something like that. And then I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing with this channel anymore. Like, I felt like it had become almost like a joke. Like, I just did not understand what I was supposed to do. So then I decided, you know what? Wait a second. What have I always wanted to do? I've always wanted to do radio. I've always wanted to do a talk show of some sort. I always wanted to host something, like my own personal show where I get to decide the topics. I get to decide the length of it. I get to pick my own guests, everything like that. And I was like, oh my God, why haven't I started a podcast yet? And I remembered I had taken like a shot at it before. I took a shot at it, and I never uploaded it. And the one I had done before was, it was like a little wrestling one. It was about like 20 minutes long. And I never uploaded it. I don't even know where it is now. But I never uploaded that podcast. And I thought back to that, and I was like, oh man, that's it. I need to start my podcast up. So all in one day's time, it took me about 2 hours to figure everything out. I figured out how to start a podcast. I figured out how to put it on Spotify. I looked through my wife's equipment because she makes music, beautiful, beautiful music. And I went through and I got all her equipment that she had, her microphone, her lights, her Mac. And I remember my buddy Rima, he put me on to this app that I record on. Hi, Zane. 1 per episode. He put me onto this app on the phone that I use to record, that I'll reveal in one of my how to start a podcast episodes that are coming in the future. And I was like, I have everything that I need right now to make a podcast. So I drew it up. I drew up how I wanted to do it. I decided, you know what, I'm going to put my little display thing on the TV behind me. And I'm just going to work with what I have. So I went on my website that I used to make my thumbnails, and I made like some background art for the podcast. I made some podcast art for, you know, the icon, the things that you see on Spotify and iTunes. And I just started going with it. I just started letting it fly. And I recorded that first one. It was called Schixo Podcast Dry Run. It was really sloppy, but I didn't care. It wasn't meant to be a really professional one off the bat. And I just started using that as my 50-day challenge. I uploaded to YouTube, and then I started uploading to Facebook. I was uploading to iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff. And, that's weird. Well, anyway, for those of you who are listening on Spotify, my TV just turned off behind me. I believe the phone that I'm using to display my art has just died. So let me just turn this off. All right. So it's off. All eyes on me. So anyway, my point is I've had to persevere through a lot of stuff just like that just happened. And you have a choice whether or not you let it stop you or whether you just push through it and keep going and determine that your goal is bigger than the obstacles that are coming in front of it, in between you and your goal. And I made the decision every single day to get up, make my videos, and put them on YouTube. As much as I didn't want to get up, as much as I couldn't come up with any ideas, I was just having creative blocks. Wasn't quite sure what to do anymore. I was like, I have to do this. I have to get this done. So I got it done. I completed my 50-day challenge as of today. Today is an amazing day. Today is a day to celebrate. Today is a day that I can look back on as the start of something special. When I make it big, when this podcast makes it big, I can look back to this 50-day challenge and say, this is what sparked this. This is what I can tell everybody who wants to emulate what I'm doing to do as well. And it's a huge deal to me because it's something that nobody else was holding me accountable for. I mean, my wife, of course, but like nobody else gave me this assignment. I gave me this assignment. I told myself that this was something that I had to do. And I did it. I stayed true to myself. I stayed dedicated to myself. For the first time in my life, I told myself that I wanted to go after a goal, and I made myself do it. Nobody else. Nobody else made me do this but me. And so I encourage everybody who's listening to this who wants to do something similar, who wants to create content, push for 50 days straight, upload for 50 days straight. Don't make any excuses. There are none. All the obstacles that I went through, I mean, there was one day we took my grandmother to Milan, and it was like 11 o'clock at night. And I was like, oh man, I don't have my computer. How am I going to edit this video and make this 50-day challenge? Because, I have an intro. I have an editing app, that I use to control the volumes and stuff like that. I could have used that day as an excuse and be like, well, I'm going to skip this day and I'll just pick it back up tomorrow. But when you make one excuse, it opens the door for you to make so many more. And that's the dangerous part about making excuses. That's why you don't want to do that. And I didn't. I just picked up my phone. I was like, I have this iPhone. I do everything else on it. Why not go ahead and record my video and just throw it on YouTube? And that's what I did. I recorded it. I opened the YouTube app and I uploaded it straight to YouTube. No thumbnail, no intro, no editing, nothing. I was like, this is what I can do today. So this is what I'm going to do. So if you're using, I had to work late as an excuse, or I don't have everything that I need, I don't want to hear that. I mean, I don't want to hear that because I just grinded, busted my tail. Hey, Zane again, 2 per episode. Okay. I just grinded, busted my tail, and made this happen for 50 days in a row. With a newborn, with a relative coming to town, taking trips, Wi-Fi not working. I mean, I've been through it all. At this point, I have pushed through every single boundary, every single barrier that could have been placed in front of me. I pushed through it, and I made it happen. So my challenge to everybody who is listening to this, I don't care what you're doing. If you want to start a business, if you want to start a YouTube channel, if you want to create content, if you want to make music, bust your tail for 50 days straight, not a single day off, and watch what can happen for you. What happened for me, I found my niche. I found what it is that I wanted to do. I figured it out. I created a podcast. I created a platform for myself to speak on the things that are important to me. And my hard work is paying off in a tremendous way, and I couldn't be more thankful, and I couldn't be more motivated, and I couldn't be more pleased with myself for doing what it is I said I was going to do. And it's amazing to me how much hard work went into this. And again, looking back on it, just to see all the stuff that I pushed through, I mean, sky's the limit for me. It's time for you guys to decide what it's going to be for you. So that's all I have for you guys today. Once again, you're listening to the Schixo podcast here on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Spotify. Follow me on Twitter at Schixomania. Follow me on Instagram at SchizoForever. And don't forget hashtag #NoFilterPodcast. I will see you guys sometime later this week. The podcast is moving to a new schedule. It's not going to be daily anymore. That's over. Now I can take a little bit more time to think of more engaging topics. As soon as I figure out the schedule, the weekly schedule, I will let you guys know. It will be consistent. So every single day that I tell you guys there will be a new podcast up, there will be a new one. But until then, like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you guys again soon. 50-day challenge. If you're up for it, leave a comment in the comment section on Facebook or on YouTube. Let me know what you're going to do. Peace.